Through a chance encounter with a young David Letterman, Chris Elliott went from being a mild-mannered NBC gopher to a writer and performer on Letterman's groundbreaking talk show. From 1982 to 1989, Elliott honed his craft, helping the program to earn multiple Emmys for outstanding writing in a variety series. Those early years helped to pave the way for the quirky actor, best known for his scene-stealing roles in films such as Groundhog Day, There's Something About Mary, and Scary Movie.
I'm handsome. I'm the caretaker.
But since the early 2000s, Elliott has kept a fairly low profile. Here's what he's been up to. Weird from the start. First, a bit of backstory. Chris Elliott's father, Bob Elliott, was a popular comedian and radio personality in the 1950s, most notable for his legendary work with comedy partner Ray Golding. David Letterman's love for Bob's work helped Chris get his career-changing opportunity at late night. In 1990, Elliott teamed up with two guys who used to work on late night with him to bring the short-lived sitcom Get a Life to Fox, featuring writers like Mr. Show's Bob Odenkirk and adaptations Charlie Kaufman. It's safe to say the program was different from anything on TV.
Don't you see, Sharon? He's teaching us about love.
It was all too weird for Fox, and the network pulled the plug after just 2 seasons, but it's considered a cult classic today. 2 years later, Elliott co-wrote and starred in another genuinely strange piece of entertainment, the Tim Burton-produced flop Cabin Boy, which also enjoys cult status today. Elliott starred as snobby aristocrat-turned-sea captain Nathaniel Mayweather, in which is certainly the weirdest movie of his career, which also featured a cameo from his old pal David Letterman.
I realize that you are most likely the product of lower-class inbreeding, but perhaps you could help me.
Oh gosh, I certainly hope so.
Steady guest star. His first film as a leading man was a critical and financial disaster, but Elliott soon found his footing. After a string of small roles in high-profile flicks in the late 90s and early 2000s, Elliott has continued working steadily, primarily in supporting and guest-starring stints on a number of popular TV sitcoms and dramas, alongside small roles in more than a dozen shows like Law & Order SVU, Difficult People, and The Good Wife. He appeared in 10 episodes of Everybody Loves Raymond as Amy's comic book-loving older brother, Peter. He also played Lily's father, Mickey, in multiple seasons of How I Met Your Mother. In October 2017, Elliott made his guest starring debut on Fox's apocalypse-themed comedy, The Last Man on Earth, playing a castaway named Glenn. Failed family sitcom. In 2006, Elliott had plans to bring his family to television with the sitcom You've Reached the Elliots. The CBS series was going to follow Elliott, a husband and a father of 2 struggling with the balance of raising a family in Connecticut as he pursued a B-list acting career in Hollywood. Splitsider described the concept as Get a Life crossed with Everybody Loves Raymond, except the series would have taken a meta look at Elliott's real life through a cringe-inducing comedic lens. While this sounds like a winning formula, with meta-comedy hits like Curb Your Enthusiasm changing the small screen landscape, the project was ultimately passed on by the network. Late Night Reunion. Elliott returned sporadically to Late Night with David Letterman during the 2007-2008 season, more than 2 decades since his Emmy-winning work on the CBS staple. He appeared in multiple sketches throughout the year as recurring characters, including Skink, a bounty hunter with some unorthodox methods.
What we do is we basically cheese the guy till he's down there in that hot box, wearing the old flop suit.
Wow.
Back to his roots. When Adult Swim's Eagle Heart came calling in 2011, things came full circle for Elliott, with the starring role on a TV show suited for his oddball sensibilities. Eagle Heart's creator, Jason Walliner, was a big fan of Elliott's work in Get a Life and Cabin Boy, and while the show wasn't written with him in mind, it was reworked to suit his comedic stylings. In 2015, Elliott joined the cast of a Canadian sitcom with a ridiculous name we can't say here. The Christopher Guest-style comedy reunites Catherine O'Hara with Eugene Levy, as formerly wealthy magnates forced to move to a small town. The hilarity is capped off by Chris Elliott's performance as Roland, the white trash, mullet-wearing, beer-guzzling mayor of the Rose's new home. Since hitting Netflix, it's found a new audience and was renewed for a 4th season in March 2017. Comedy legacy. Elliott passed the comedy torch to his 2 daughters, Abby and Bridie. Bridie has worked a lot in the world of stand-up comedy and has also acted in the TBS series Search Party, HBO's Silicon Valley, and the Emma Stone-Steve Carell movie Battle of the Sexes. Like her father before her, Abby appeared as a cast member on Saturday Night Live from 2008 to 2012, making her the first ever second-generation performer on the long-running sketch series. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our